I feel like at the point that there's, $17,000 on the line, maybe some concrete rules would be.
And your first rule can't be cool. You it's time.
No,
that's
agreed.
Literally the first rule is be cool. Like at a certain point,
Drew's out.
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
you. Relegated. I'm not cool.
What up, party people? Welcome back to another episode of the Bonk Bros podcast. Today we're talking about all things gravel worlds, where our boy Dizzle snagged himself a top 10 in a stacked field before briefly touching on the Vuelta and getting into a whole bunch of listener questions. Speaking of questions, if you have any questions or feedback for the show, you can drop us a note at bonkbrospodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit up the Bonk Bros Instagram page, or you can sign up for Patreon and get some priority access to your question placement there. If you want to support the podcast while also treating yourself to a little something in the process, you can always pick up some amazing products from any of our loyal partners, and be sure that you're getting the best of the best, because we only work with the best of the best. For pretty much all of your cycling accessory needs, make sure to check out Bike Tires Direct. I've had a whole bunch of y'all reaching out about my experience with the Pirelli P0 race tires that I put on my Mog a few weeks back, and so far I'm digging them. It's been super fun to have a fast road tire under me again, since these things came in 40s, I didn't even have to compromise on comfort or anything like that too much. I've taken them off road already because I just couldn't help myself, and they're holding up just fine. Snagged a couple KOMs in the process too. So yeah, if you're looking to check out some tires or more, head over to biketiresdirect.com and use the code BONKBROS at checkout for some savings. We've also got Bolt Skin and Shave coming in today. Yes, that silky smooth gift of the most advanced leg shaving experience that money can buy. Bolt is more than just a razor company though. They are also a skincare company with all kinds of skin accessories to improve the quality of your post-shave skin. Head over to boltshave.com today and use the code BROS15 at checkout. For all bike maintenance and marginal gains needs, head over to SILCA.cc and use the code BONKBROSAUG2025. That's AUG as in August, right? Now, if you've been keeping up with the Vuelta news, then you've probably already seen that a whole boatload of Visma's bikes were stolen last week. And if I had to put my money on it, I would bet the main motivation has to do with the fact that they are running the hottest chains in the business thanks to that SILCA wax treatment they're getting each night. So no promises that your bike won't get stolen too after you wax it with that SILCA secret blend. But I do promise that there will be less mess and more speed involved. Again, that's Bonk Bros AUG 2025 at checkout. Next up is our friends over at Bicycle Accident Law, who are with you on every ride and will work to fight for you to get the results that you deserve should you fall victim to any kind of vehicular accident while out on a ride. To learn more, you can head over to bicycleaccidentlaw.com and mention the Bonk Bros sent you, and make sure that you add their contact info to your phone just in case you need them on the fly. That's bicycleaccidentlaw.com. And last but not least is our lovely friends over at Ketone Aid. We're always popping open a bottle of Ketone Aid on the podcast because the effects can be felt almost immediately, and what better way to improve the podcast than by downing legal performance enhancers mid-recording so that we can be on our game for you. Click the link in the show notes to get you some today with free shipping on us. All right, that's enough business for today. Let's get this party started.
I'm just doing my normal Googling while we're recording it.
Okay. Why does it even matter if Scott's ready?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Drew, what do you got in 30 minutes? Sleep?
No, but I need to go eat lunch and then build my bike and go ride before the end of the
lunch,
day.
Dude, isn't it? What time is it there?
It's 1:00.
Oh, okay.
You've been growing this beard specifically to keep you warm in Iceland or something?
Yeah, everybody in Iceland is bald and they have beards. So I was
just trying to fit in.
I'm trying to fit in. So I look more Icelandic.
Why are they bald? What's that? What's the significance of that?
I don't know. They're just they're real men here, I guess. I don't know.
Real men are bald?
That's
the most complimentary you've been to Tyler ever.
The most manly men have big beard, but he doesn't have a beard. Tyler would be so much cooler if he had a beard.
I don't know.
Maybe he'll come back from this month-long trip in the mountains or whatever he's doing with a beard because he just didn't pack his razor.
Male pattern baldness is a result of You need testosterone to have male pattern baldness.
What is male pattern baldness?
Yeah, what are you talking about, dude? What is
Being
male pattern
bald.
baldness?
Oh, just being bald. Okay.
Why didn't you just say that?
How you guys not know what male pattern baldness is?
Why'd you say it like that?
A guy who's bald.
This is the definition of your entire YouTube videos. It's like you trying to sound smarter than everybody else. Like, just say the thing. You don't have to say, what's the word pattern got to do with it? Just leave that out.
That's like, okay, Scott, look it up. You're on Google right now. Look it up right now. Male pattern baldness.
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to search?
Male pattern baldness. I'm
Is it
not like
I'm sure if you search that, it's going to come up.
Well, search it and see what happens.
It's also known as androgenetic alopecia.
Yeah.
You could have just said that, Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan.
Real scientific.
Fucking idiot.
That
sound like a common condition that causes hair loss.
That would have been a lot less confusing. Yeah.
So why do you need testosterone to have that?
No, like you're not going to have. So you're not going to have male pattern baldness or androgenic alopecia if you don't have testosterone in your system. Therefore,
so
if you're bald, you're a man.
Testosterone.
Not that women can't be bald. Women can be bald too.
Literally,
if you have
the type of
androgenic alopecia, it's because you're a man.
Yeah, andro in Greek just means man or husband, and genic, I'm assuming, means genes. So that's like literally the word is man gene.
Yeah, nice job, Drew.
Yeah. I know some Greek. What do you know, idiot?
I don't know nothing. Yeah. I don't know any Greek, dude.
Hey, you know what? Actually, you know what idiot means in Greek? I got
Tell
you
us.
to this.
Tell us.
The word idiot comes from the word idios, and the word idios means one's own. And so when somebody's an idiot, it's just kind of like they're living in their own little world, one's own.
Yeah, that kind of describes you perfectly.
Yeah, I'm just living in my own little idiotic world over here in Iceland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well,
I just met a guy 15 minutes ago on the elevator who reminded me that this podcast was happening because I wasn't going to come on because he said he's from Taiwan and he knew who I was because he listens to our podcast in Taiwan.
That's sweet.
Isn't that crazy? He said he had to fly 24 hours just to get here for this race. And he's listening to our stupid podcast.
Yeah. He probably binged him on the plane, dude. It's a lot better than watching The Notebook on repeat.
Yeah, what'd you watch on the plane this time, Drew?
Whoa, bro, Dylan, did you just say our podcast is better than The Notebook? Dude, come on. You can't say that. That's like sacrilege.
Is it? I didn't know you're such a rom-com fan. It's actually not even like com, it's just rom.
What's that guy's name that's in that movie? Man, that guy. Good looking guy. He like a house. Dude, he builds that house for that girl. Dang. What a guy.
Yeah. Ryan Gosling.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
He's probably going bald right now because of how manly he is.
I'd rather talk
He's
about
probably pretty old, too.
Yeah. Drew, just get to why you're here. So start talking about Gravel Worlds.
Yeah. Gravel Worlds. It happened a couple of days ago. I got 9th place. If y'all didn't.
All right. Before you talk, can we talk about the live feed? Can we talk about the live feed?
Was it baller?
It wouldn't.
I didn't watch the live feed. I was living the live feed.
Dude, it would not be a Bonk Bros episode without Adam or Tyler complaining about the live feed. So here,
all right.
Let's go,
wasn't
Adam.
it good?
Just said it was good.
Yeah, I thought
give me a second. The live feed was the best live feed I've ever watched, other than like
Dang.
Tour. For like a gravel race, it was phenomenal. Very, very good.
Wow.
Top notch. Yeah. I know.
Really?
Twist. You thought I was going to shit on it like I usually do, but yeah.
It's insane.
Very, very good. The commentary was good. They had a bunch of like split screens going, so like you could watch the men's race and the women's race. They weren't like taken away from each other. I thought it was really good. So honestly, from afar, I've never done the race. I've never been there for it, but it looked like the whole thing, like the production was like incredible. Very well put on.
Nice. Good.
So what was the deal with the mud?
Dude, what about
There was
that?
like one mud section, right?
Two. There was two.
That's right, two.
But they were like back to back right in the first 20 miles. Yeah, first hour of the race.
Oof. Jeez.
Before we hit the first mud section, I was like at the back thinking I was about to get dropped because we were going so fast. And then like right before we got to the mud section, I just sprinted to the front because I'm like, God, I didn't know that it was going to be muddy, but I was like, okay, the first MMR is at mile 15 and it's like literally 14 and a half miles into the race.
What's an MMR?
Minimum
maintenance road.
What?
Yeah, CJ asked me that too. I thought that was common knowledge, but I guess it's like a
it's like a common knowledge the Midwest.
It's definitely less common knowledge than male pattern baldness, but continue.
MPB.
So we don't have gravel around here.
I think everybody didn't think it was going to be
in Maryland. Actually, modern society.
Too posh for gravel.
I didn't think everybody expected it to be so muddy. And it was like as soon as we hit the mud section, it was like chaos. Like there was a massive pile up in the first little mud section. Whoever was first just crashed, I guess. And ironically, I crashed right into Chase, who was in front of me. Maybe this was the second mud section. I don't know. I got them mixed up because Chase actually got a flat tire before we got to the mud section. And then the first mud section allowed him, because the Lauf Segla has so much clearance, he was able to like get back to the lead group just because he made it through the first mud section faster than most of the peloton. So then he was back in the main group. He got back into the leaders group. And then we hit the second mud section. And then he was off the front for a couple minutes by himself, like after the mud section, because he looked at me while we were running our bikes through the mud and he was like, bro, we could freaking break away right now. And he just like got on his bike and before everybody else and rode away while we were all still running. It was awesome.
Wait, so why were you running?
Because it was still muddy. And I didn't
Everyone was running?
Like everybody was running and I didn't want to risk. You don't want to risk like getting on too soon and then your bike clogs up. So I waited till I saw other people getting on their bikes and their bikes weren't clogging up. And then I got on mine.
So your bike was clogging up, but Chase's wasn't.
No, neither one of our bikes were clogging up, but I just didn't want it to.
Okay, gotcha.
But like my shoes were covered. Like my shoes were just like freaking, like it gets like this giant patty of mud under it. And your
cow pie in it.
Like, yeah, it's insane. So I had to stop and like clear the mud. I had road cleats too. I think most people had road cleats because we didn't think it was going to be muddy. So I had to stop and clear the mud out of my cleats. But luckily, I don't know if I'm just a genius or I got lucky, but I took my finger and just like scraped around right around the cleat and like kind of dug in around the cleat and I clipped right in right away. I know. Like I didn't have
you're
any
definitely not
issues.
A genius,
like
so you must have been lucky.
Road cleats are really hard to clip in if they get even a little bit of dirt, and somehow I cleared them perfectly.
Wait, you had road cleats?
Were you not?
Why do you say that like that's a surprise?
You always run road cleats.
Yeah, but if it's going to be muddy like this, I don't.
Yeah, but
like,
it sounds like nobody knew it was going to be muddy.
Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be muddy. I had no idea.
Dang. The whole course was dry except for these like 2 1-mile sections.
I think there was one. There was one other mud section late in the race, but it was like nothing compared to those two. It was like barely anything.
Does anyone like drive the course, like bring like a little side by side with them and drive?
Well, it rained like in the middle of the night. You're saying like, yeah, I don't think anybody knew because it happened overnight. So like everybody had pre-rode the day before and then it changed overnight.
And what's crazy is they were interviewing some of the 300-mile guys. And they said it was pouring on them while they were riding, but it wasn't sticking because it was like actively wet. Yeah. So if you tried to get like intel from any of those guys, not that they would have given you intel, but like any insight from watching that race, like you wouldn't have gotten any because they weren't clogging up.
I also heard that I was talking to a guy that finished that, and he was saying that when the storm rolled in, the group that he was in, like half the dudes just got blown off the road because they have all that gear on their bike, and this huge gust of wind came in, and it just literally blew them into the ditch. And he said they were just laying there until the wind stopped.
Jeez. Do you ever wonder how people who live in these places, how do they drive anywhere after it rains? Like the mud is like wet concrete after it rains. How do you drive to the grocery store?
Did you know that there's a vehicle that exists that's not a minivan, Dylan? That you can drive on roads like that? They probably have trucks.
Other roads.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can. Yeah.
It sounds like you'd be destroying your truck.
Most people don't live on MMRs. Like usually the MMRs are between properties, like, like a 1 mile stretch between acreages. So, and that's why it's not maintained, because it's not a heavily used road. The packed dirt roads, like they don't usually muck up like that.
Oh yeah, the dirt, like the normal gravel roads were like perfectly fine.
Yeah. But you will see people that get stuck driving through MMRs being idiots, just trying to drive through it for some reason.
All right, Dizzle, do you think, well, I mean, this is a question for everyone. This isn't just a question for Dizzle. Do you think adding incredibly muddy MMRs adds to the race or subtracts from the race?
Well, in my opinion, I loved it.
Well, I mean, like you gained
me and
from
Chase
it. But...
me and Chase totally gained from it. Like, think of how many people were immediately.
I don't understand
how
you guys gained from it though if you weren't able to ride it. Just because like you could get on the bike that much faster
because their bike wasn't clogged.
Yeah, their bikes didn't get clapped out.
Like a lot of people had to
he had to stop for 10 minutes just to get his bike riding.
Well, yeah, I saw a ton of people had to stop for that long.
Yeah, like a lot of people who didn't have clearance, like they have to be on the side of the road for a while, like unclogging their bike, whereas Chase and Drew didn't have to do that. So I guess this was the big debate for Unbound in 2023. Like, was this mud section a good thing or was it a bad thing? And arguments go both ways. I mean, like the pro mud argument is like, well, this is just gravel racing. That's how it is. This is part of gravel racing. And I would say the anti-argument was like, well, it makes for a worse race because half of the top contenders were taken out immediately. And then you don't have the top contenders battling for the win anymore.
Yeah, but could you argue that it does favor the more prepared though?
Yeah. And I mean, I would say that that's a pro argument as well.
Yeah.
Like it favors people that are well prepared and, know how to race gravel, like, know how to manage their bike in gravel for sure.
So we aren't surprised that Pete Stetina was on the side of the road for 10 minutes. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if we're surprised or not. I mean, I think Pete Stetina should know better. He did Unbound in 2023 and like he's raced a ton of gravel,
Was it called out on the course, like the route, that there were going to be some MMR roads?
Oh yeah. I think everybody knew there were MMRs. We had them, me and Chase had them marked down, like the mileage at which all the MMRs happened.
Because I think, it's like you can't predict the weather, right? And like the course promoters, I mean, they're not going to have, backup routes, like, for the conditions, right? Like you kind of have to set the course, and whatever the conditions are is what they are. And I personally do think that the MMR roads, these kind of more technical roads, add to the dynamics of the race. I think it's a good thing. It's a good way to break up a 75-person lead group. So like I do think it's important to have those. And even like Gravel Worlds is still a fast race. Like the winning time was still fast. And it would have been obviously much faster without those couple B roads in there. So like you really need those roads to like break things up.
Yeah. I didn't have I don't think they had any of those last year. Like this is not a single MMR last year from what I remember. And so having I think there was like almost 10 of them this year. I mean, there were a lot of those like 1 mile sections, and exactly what you said. Like I thought it made for a much funner race. Minus the mud. Like take out the mud.
And like a little bit safer race too. You don't have this gigantic pack just rolling for 150 miles at 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, the first 15 miles before that MMR were crazy. I mean, it was like a massive peloton, like rock.
It's the same at Unbound, right? Like it's
dark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also,
that is crazy too. Yeah, it's also in the dark.
Also, one thing that I wanted to talk about is what is the deal with Gravel World starting at like an hour before the sun comes up?
Don't ask me, dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
That wasn't my choice.
I don't know if that's also just to like play to the ethos of gravel. Like sometimes you got to ride gravel in the dark. I mean, I don't know.
So let me go on a little bit of a rant here, and I don't want to bash. I I don't want to bash Gravel Worlds too much because I have already bashed the name of Gravel Worlds so much because I hate the name of Gravel Worlds. And John, who puts on Gravel Worlds, is like the nicest guy in the Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
Thank you. Jason, who puts on Gravel Worlds, is like the nicest guy ever. I've never even done his. And Sophia is like the nicest guy in the world. I've never even done the race, but they're super nice to me every time they see me. But okay, what is the deal with starting your race? Like, so I get that, you want to, there's some people that are taking all day to finish the race. But, and you want to give them, as much time as you can, but, you shouldn't start the race so that people need lights at the beginning. If you're slow enough that you need lights at the end, then that is what it is. But don't make it so that you need lights at the beginning. Like, just start it when the sun comes up.
He's talking to somebody, or is he taking a selfie video or something?
Who? Nah, I'm vlogging. Oh. I think it makes for super cool pictures. Like all of the pictures in the dark with all the lights are pretty cool, but I mean, it is kind of absurd. Like,
so did you have to have a light to start? Did they require you to have a light?
It's like a part of the rules, but yeah, you don't it's light enough to where you don't really need one.
How dark?
How long before sunrise are you starting?
It started at 5:30, right?
No.
Oh my God.
6 a.m.
Oh, it started at 6 a.m. Okay. Well, so that would be
like the sun had literally
minutes,
just peeked over the hill when we got to that mud section. If we hit that mud section in the dark, oh man. Think of that.
Well, some of the crazy pictures and footage, I didn't start watching admittedly until like 9 a.m. But some of the pictures, it was dark. Like there was not enough, exposure for them to like really capture the brightness. So
yeah, it hit just got light right when we hit the mud section, and like the sun wasn't even up, but it was like we could see,
Yeah, I don't know, Dylan. I wonder if it was kind of cool. When they decided to split the pro field, like maybe that's when they started in the dark, so that way all the amateurs could start at the normal time and still have the full day to finish. And they're just like, if we're, in order to send the pros off early, we just have to start in the dark. I don't know if that's when it started.
I mean, who cares? It's there, right? Like they can pick whenever they want to choose. Like the Dam, the race that Chase puts on in Minnesota starts at midnight.
Damn.
Like you can shoot.
Well, yeah, but that race doesn't that race take like 24 hours or something?
Yeah, it's like
240 miles.
240 miles.
Oh, so it probably doesn't. Oh, yeah. Okay.
No. But it's like even the people that I talk to that do the Dam talk about. But
do you know why it starts at midnight? Do you know why?
I don't know. Hit me.
Because it's the day across. You get 24 hours to finish. It's the day across Minnesota.
Yeah, you nailed it. So you start right at the beginning of the day.
Yeah. Well, there probably are people that take 24 hours to do it,
Oh, yeah. I think, for sure.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yep.
Drew, so you made the main selection.
Yeah, there was maybe 20, maybe 25 people that made it through both of those mud sections, and then quickly that. Okay, well then you made it even past that because there was a point where you were. It was 10 or less, 12 guys maybe. When I got popped, it was me and Chase and Nathan Spratt. The three of us got popped, and there were 9 guys up the road in the group that we got popped from 9, and then Tobin dropped out of that group and we caught him. So then we were racing for 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Sick.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, so we made it with the group, but they dropped us almost halfway into the race. I was only we got dropped at mile 80 and we had to still go another 70 not in the lead group. But we were basically the second group on the road behind them. And then that group, I think, shattered apart in the last like 20 or 30 miles.
Were you guys surprised to see Matt Beers out sprint Keegan?
Yeah,
not really.
I mean, Matt Beers is a big dude. If Matt Beers lost to Keegan in a sprint, it would almost be embarrassing. You know, like,
well, he has lost to Keegan in a sprint a lot.
I know. I'm just saying, like, that dude should be a sprinter just from the way he looks.
Has he lost to Keegan in an actual sprint, or just in like a final mile sprint?
No,
Levi's Fondo
in an actual sprint.
Levi's Fondo.
Almost
that wasn't
every
really
time
a
it
sprint
happens.
though. Levi's Fondo
Not
was
almost
like
every time.
Yeah, Schwamigan.
Okay, yeah, Schwamigan.
I'm trying to think of other examples off the top of my head, like
because
Levi's.
Matt Beers beat him in the sprint though at Little Sugar last year.
Little Sugar.
No, he beat Keegan at Little
Blevins.
Sugar. Blevins just dusted both of them.
Oh yeah, that's true. Blevins dusted both of them. Okay, fair.
Yeah.
But most of the time, the two of them are coming to the line. I would say 4 out of 5 times Keegan beats Matt Beers.
I was really surprised
from the stats that you just listed off.
Well, there's more races. I just can't think of them off the top of my head.
No. You have a crush on Keegan, so in your head, everything leans Keegan's way because you're biased.
Dude, if anything, me and Matt Beers are more homies than me and Keegan are.
I didn't say homies. I said you have a crush on him. I mean, I can have a crush on anybody. And they don't know
relationship.
Yeah, they don't even know who I am.
All right. Fair. I beg to differ, but okay. Continue.
Were you, Dylan? Did you watch like the whole sprint? Like, did you watch it live or did you watch it afterwards?
No, I watched it live.
So, were you surprised with how it played out though? Like, I was pretty surprised that Keegan waited as long as he did.
No, I mean, that's where you should start your sprint. He just didn't have a sprint.
It was long enough from the last turn to the finish.
Yeah, I'm going to take sprinting advice from Dylan next time.
Okay, well, Scott, you watch it and tell me. I mean,
I didn't watch it.
They had like a 10 or 15 second sprint. Is that not the amount of time that you would want to sprint for? Like if you started
earlier, dude who's got a 500 watt FTP,
it's
sprinting
totally
out of a corner that you're like almost coming to a standstill. I mean, like, I agree under normal circumstances, but to me, like there were too many, like that final turn slowed it down too much.
Yeah, you did have to slow down through that.
Yeah, I mean, I think
so. Like,
maybe
who's going to accelerate fastest? Probably the dude that's got the more horsepower.
Yeah,
well, but also I don't know,
and the guy that's in front.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just like I went when they were coming through, and there was like a point in time when they started playing games. Like Matt was trying to get Keegan to pull through, and Keegan wasn't pulling through. Like, and you're like, okay, now it's on. But like, I just felt like the fact that Keegan, like, literally just waited that long. I don't know. I was not surprised to see that Matt took it the way that it played out.
I guess. I think maybe you could have made an argument for you want to be the first through that corner and then start your sprint. So maybe you want to start the sprint slightly before the corner just so you take the corner first. But as far as sprinting goes, that is where you want to start your sprint.
Yeah, I mean, or I think because Keegan tried to jump first, like Keegan basically tried to jump out of that corner.
Mm-hmm.
I almost wonder. I think it was just like it could have played out better if Keegan had even hesitated a little further. Like, did you watch the sprint for third?
Yeah.
Who third was
Cam Jones.
Yeah. So in Cam, he was second going into that corner. But he waited until they kind of got up to speed and then jumped.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That guy's strong. That guy's dumb strong.
Cam?
He would just go to the front. Dude, this guy's legs are insane. Like how strong they look and how big they are. He doesn't look like you ride next to, you see him and then you see Keegan and it's just like total opposite infrastructures. Like this dude, and he would just sit on the front, and I think he was just had the mindset of like, I'm gonna ride everybody off my wheel, and he like would just sit on the front and just pick the pace up, and I just would be on the back, holding on for dear life. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You're an idiot. Like, cut this out. And Adam Roberge said apparently he didn't have water for like the last 2 or 3 hours of the race.
Yeah.
Because I stopped with him at the first aid 50 miles in. And the reason I stopped was because I saw that he had stopped. And I'm like, oh, sweet. Like, I know that guy's strong. So we'll definitely catch back up to the leaders if he's with us. And then I guess he didn't stop at all after that because he was in the lead group and he didn't want to like risk getting popped from the lead group to stop. But he ran out of water.
Damn. He still beat Adam in the sprint.
Yeah, I know. That's like, it's hilarious.
Yeah. In the
and Dylan, you said you thought Adam was going to be the best sprinter of the whole bunch too.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Dude,
true.
Can we just talk? Adam Roberge's position on the bike is like super aero.
Yeah. Adam
How is he so flexible?
Adam naturally gets more aero when he is going hard instead of most people when they're going hard, they sit upright more. He does the opposite. He hunches over more when he's going hard. It's like a talent. It's like a secret talent.
And he rides the drops like nearly 100% of the time.
He does ride the drops a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that helps if you're in the drops because then you're naturally just going to lean forward more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like everyone else's back is like 20 or 30 degree angle. And dude, his is almost like negative. It's like,
yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you look at his power output for races, it is lower than the people around him.
Oh yeah. Dude, I've lost to him in a race that he had less power than I did.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's definitely a talent.
After the race, he said, "Man, I think you pulled less than I did today." And I was like, you know why? Because I started the race and I said, I'm going to pull an Adam Roberge today, and I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to chill at the back and act like I'm dying the whole race, except for I don't have to act. It was just honest.
The only thing that the live feed did miss was the winning move that Keegan and Matt Beers got away on. I don't know what happened there.
I think it was on an MMR. I heard that Keegan attacked on the last MMR.
Okay.
Did they get Brendan Johnston crashing?
No.
Yeah, I think in that same section, Brendan Johnston crashed, and that's kind of what helped make the separation happen.
They were following that chase group for a while, but then once the front group of 4 split into 2 front groups, like 2 and 2, they kind of stopped worrying about fifth and back.
Oh, okay.
They're just kind of focused on those 2 groups.
Yeah. The live feed, you mean?
Yeah, the live feed.
Yeah. Makes sense.
In the women's race, the opposite happened. The bigger rider didn't sprint as well. Like Rosa is significantly smaller than G, and she won the sprint. I'm just saying, size of rider doesn't always mean you're going to sprint better. Like I think that Matt Beers would. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I feel like he said this. He would say that he doesn't have a good sprint, that he's like more of a diesel rider.
Sure.
Yeah.
Did it play out the same way? I can't remember.
Well, yeah, it was the 2 of them coming into the last corner, and then Rosa took the corner first, and G was on her wheel, and then, I mean, it wasn't even really close. Like Rosa just absolutely dusted the sprint.
Okay.
So I don't really think that there's anything different that G could have done to actually take that sprint, because Rosa was clearly just fresher or a better sprinter, or it wasn't close.
Wow, they won by 12 minutes too.
Our Bonk Babe sister got 4th, didn't she?
Danny, yeah, 5th. Yeah,
5th.
But yeah, she was in that front group for a while.
Dang. Clutch.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, you didn't even perform the best out of the Bonk franchise.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I think I had 3 people message me this for some reason. I think it was because of the live feed that helped make this race feel a lot bigger than what it was. I had like 3 people message me and say, well, I've been listening to the Bonk Bros for X amount of time, and I just assumed you were slow. And then you got this awesome result, and it turns out you're actually faster than what I thought you were. Like literally multiple messages of that. I'm like, first of all, I still got dropped like halfway through the race, and ninth place isn't, is good, and I'm happy with it, but I don't think it was like my best performance on the bike. Mm-hmm. I think the result I got at the Rift last month was more impressive than that, but like there wasn't live feeds, there wasn't any coverage. Yeah. So then like if you don't know about it, then you just don't, you know what I mean? Like the fact that the live coverage was so good on this race makes it more talkable or whatever, like more relevant.
I mean, you admitted this to me when we talked on the phone yesterday. You think that like most of the reason why you got a top 10 was because you were on the Lauf with the massive tire clearance.
Think of how many people
don't give him that.
Think of how many people like normally always beat me if it were just a legs race. Like Stetna, I don't know, Daxton Mock, he beats me a lot. Russell, Finsterwald, Chad Haga, like there's a long list of people that got screwed by the mud.
Dude, remember last year you were riding with Russell and you just like let him beat you because you're like, oh, he's stronger than me.
Wasn't that here? Wasn't that at this race?
It was at that race, yeah. And this year he wasn't even in the picture. Actually, he made it through the mud, but he at least made it through the first mud section because he was in the lead group at one point, but I don't know what happened to him after that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about the triathlon results?
Did Kerry win?
Kerry Werner getting second place overall.
Ooh.
I have absolutely not one clue what you're talking about right now.
It was gravel nationals or gravel triathlon nationals. So actually Kerry won a national championship.
Gravel triathlon nationals?
Yeah.
The day after the race.
That's the
day after, yeah. That was the thing. Yeah. Kerry won his age group. So he is technically 30 to 34 national champion.
Is that also put on by Jason and Sophia?
Yep.
Okay, Jason and Sophia, stop with this terrible naming. Like,
no. This is a real. No, this is like certified by USA Triathlon.
Oh, okay.
It's a national championship.
That's fair.
This isn't some fake name.
You thought they just called it the national championships?
Dude, they just call their gravel race Gravel Worlds.
Yeah,
that's the dumbest thing I've said.
This gravel thing was like an actual thing. Not that
it's way before.
And anybody that you make this like any like OG gravel bro that you make this argument that's a bad name to, they're like, well, they're actually the original, and it's like, I get it, I know, but it's like at this point, it's just
it was they had a pro riders meeting the day before the race, and like riders were supposed to be there, and it was. So they went through the rules and everything, and one of the people in the room asked, "There's some weird rules at this race. Mainly, there's one of the rules is no team tactics."
We need to talk about that,
which is which is vague. And I think somebody asked a question in regard to that, and their answer was I thought was insufficient. They had said like, oh, it's a vague rule on purpose, and hopefully we don't have to not make it vague. And I was like, what's the point of rules if they're going to be vague? And
what was the question? What was it about?
Well, the rule is it just says in really big letters, no team tactics. And then they clarify it by saying something along the lines of, we want everybody to race individually and we don't want you to sacrifice your race for another person. I think what they're trying to accomplish from that is people aren't carrying bottles for other people or giving them equipment throughout the race. Like,
sure,
if I were to carry Chase's water for him so that he didn't have to, and then if he got a flat, I give him my bike. They don't want that. I don't think they're completely
against. It says something about like you can't have a domestique
tactics.
That's going to sacrifice their race. Like everyone has to be in it to try and win the race.
But that's kind of vague. Like me and Chase used team tactics on Nathan Spratt at the end of the race when we attacked him and then Chase sprinted him. And I don't think that is necessarily against the rules, even though you would literally call that. You would literally call that team tactics. Like me and Chase talked or like did some little, silent sign language when Nathan wasn't looking. And the plan was I was going to attack. Chase was going to sit on his wheel and then out sprint him so that we'd both be top 10. And that's what happened. And that is like textbook team tactics. So it's like, did we break the rules or not? I don't know. I'm sure there's all kinds of people from Michigan.
But also, like, what's considered a
that
team?
are going to probably comment on this and say that I need to be relegated or whatever.
What's considered a teammate? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like you could just say, oh, well, I attacked the group because I wanted to get ninth.
Like, do you and Chase have all the exact same sponsors?
No.
So maybe you're not true teammates then.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so it's vague. And then, so this was the funny part about the pro riders meeting. Somebody else asked, once you get relegated, so they had said that it was going to be like a 3 strikes thing. So if the moto had to come up to you and give you a warning, on your 3rd warning, you're DQ'd. And so if you got DQ'd during the race, somebody raised their hand and said, how do we get back to once I get, like, if I were to get disqualified, how do I get back to the venue? Can I still ride in the group, or do I have to stop riding altogether? Or is it up to me? And they were like stumped. It was so funny. Like, they didn't know what to say. It was like hilarious. But they ended up saying, I think they ended up sending out an email that said you could not race in the pro race anymore, but you could drop back to the amateur field and ride back with them. Just to get back to the finish.
I mean, I feel like
is it not a faster way to get back to the finish?
I feel like at the point that there's, $17,000 on the line, maybe some concrete rules would be.
That's exactly okay. I'm glad. That's exactly what needs to be said. And your first rule can't be cool. You like, it's time.
No,
that's
agreed.
Literally the first rule is be cool. Like, at a certain point,
Drew's out.
Because,
Drew's out. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Relegated. I'm not cool. Is that what you meant? Yeah, it's so true. Like, at a certain point, this isn't just some little dinky gravel race. This is a big deal, and you got to start acting like it's a big deal.
Yeah,
and be cool. Be cool was a cool rule 15 years ago when it was just the Lincoln, Nebraska gravel homies out there doing their thing. But now that you've got literally like people from all around the world, like me and Keegan and Chase were the only Americans in the top 10. Like, there's that big of international people coming to your race. Like,
it literally does say rule number 1, be cool.
It's probably time to start like stepping up and acting like a real pro race.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, like, gravel world races like Gravel Worlds and like Mid-South, they're kind of wrestling with this. Do we keep with the spirit of gravel, or do we like just make it a full-on pro race with rules and all of this? And they're wrestling with it because they're trying to balance the two.
For sure.
I don't know. Yeah. Like, I'm going to be biased here, but because I don't like the spirit of gravel anyway. But like, I would just fully embrace the fact that keep the amateur race a spirit of gravel race. Everybody's having a good time. The first rule is be cool. That's all well and good. But like the pro race with $17,000 on the line, you just go all out on making it a pro race.
Technically, you don't call it on the line.
Yeah, I mean, total
17 is just for the first place.
Yeah. You don't call it Gravel Worlds. You change it to something else. You don't start in the nighttime. I mean, starting in the nighttime is just a personal pet peeve of mine. They can start in the nighttime if they want. I just think that's dumb. And also, you make concrete rules.
Yeah. I also do want to put in, like, we've already said this, but I guess I want to clarify because I know that Jason and Sophia will hear this. And I do want to say, like, you guys are putting on a good event, but hopefully this is taken as positive feedback. Like, I don't want them to hear this and think we're blasting them or anything like that.
Yeah. Also, speaking of tattoos, which I know we weren't speaking about, but it's relevant, I swear. Dude, he's got probably sickest full bodysuit of tattoos that I've ever. I think he does. I think he is like tattoo artist, which is doing his full body. He says they like go to competitions and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were at the pro riders meeting, like half of the meeting, I was distracted by because he was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and I was like, he literally like, there's not an uninked part of him. It's like, dang.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot of things right. So
they're doing a lot of.
Yeah, they're definitely doing a lot of things right. There's just a few things that could be better.
Right. There's
like
three
the live
things.
feed. We already said the live feed was like Adam just said. For Adam to say that was, whoa.
Yeah, Adam never likes the live feed.
Yeah. So that was like a huge plus. Like that was really good.
Okay, I only watched the last hour of the live feed, so maybe Adam can speak to this. But the huge problem with the live feed at Unbound was that the leaders were drafting off of the live feed vehicle and gaining an advantage. Do you feel that was happening at Gravel Worlds or no?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, they hardly ever had a front-on view. It was always on the side.
Yeah. And they only did motos to try to minimize that. There weren't any ATVs or whatever side-by-sides out there. It was just motos.
Yeah. Good.
But there was like a couple times like Simon from the PA team, Simon Norrell Swinston, he literally like got right on the moto's wheel. And then the moto like realized he was back there and sped up, but Simon sped up too. And he literally rode away from us on the back of the moto. And we're like, it was like the funniest thing. You're like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what a blatant, I don't know. It was hilarious. He didn't care.
I talked to Toby at the starting line of Leadville, and I was like, "Hey man, good job at because this is the first time I'd seen him in a while because I've been racing." I was like, "Yeah, man, good job at Leadville. Like, I think you should have won that
Unbound.
thing." Unbound, yeah. Good job at Unbound. Like, I think you should have won that thing. And the reason I say that is because he got third, and the two riders that got first and second. Not taking anything away from the ride. They're obviously super strong, but they did draft the buggy all day long. And if you talk to some of the riders that were in the chasing group, it sounds like there were multiple times where they were chasing all out, like, probably 5 to 10 of them. I don't know the exact number. And they were not gaining on two riders, So, and he was actually like, yeah, that's just how cycling works. Like, in World Tour races, the breakaway always gets a draft off of the moto, and that's just how it is. And I was like, dang, that's if I got third at Unbound this year, I would be pissed, dude. I would be fucking
you wouldn't.
pissed.
You'd be freaking ecstatic. That's all you'd be talking about the rest of the years. Oh my gosh, I got third place.
Yeah, but I'd be ecstatic, but I'd also be pissed. Like, I'd be ecstatic and pissed at the same. Like, obviously, it'd be the best result I've ever gotten in my career, but at the same time, I'd be pissed.
Then just draft the moto. It seems pretty easy. If you want to win, just draft the moto.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna dip. I gotta get some food.
Okay.
Y'all need anything else from me?
When's the race start over there?
Tomorrow.
Dang,
right. Good luck, man.
My bike's still in the box. I gotta go build it and ride today. Luckily, it doesn't get dark here, so I got all night to ride. So we're good.
Sick.
All right.
See you guys. See you, dude.
Y'all been following the Vuelta at all?
Scott's been watching it this entire time we've been recording.
No, that's not true. Not really, no. You?
I mean, I watched the first 3 stages, I guess.
There's only been 3 stages.
Yeah, and I watched them all.
All right, so you're like, oh, so yeah, yes. I guess I have. So yeah, if you're watching it. I mean, I checked the results. That's about it.
God, Scott is so pissed, man. It's just his resting voice. Scott's got like resting pissed voice.
That's true. I'm really not that pissed like most of the time. It just sounds like I'm pissed.
I know. This is okay. So like, back when Scott was my roommate, like, we wake up and I'd be like, oh, hey man, how's it going? He'd be like, it's fucking going good. Okay. I'm like, all right, damn, man. Yeah. Yeah, they were calling Jonas a sprinter yesterday. They're like, there's that sprinter Jonas. And I'm like, wow, how times have changed. Since when is Jonas a sprinter?
Were they joking?
Well, I mean, can you really call stage 2 a sprint? It was like kind of a sprint, but it was more so like.
Well, yeah, but stage 3 too.
Yeah. I mean, both of those stages were like the top of a climb, though. Like you wouldn't call it a traditional sprint stage.
Yeah, but also what, stage 3, there's 71 guys on the same time. Like, so in the peloton, so that's like kind of a lot of guys.
Yeah. It was a long uphill drag, though. I don't know what the gradient was. Like, I don't know if you classify that as a sprint stage or a whatever, mountaintop finish at the top of like a molehill, but yeah.
So, anything else to report? Has it been exciting?
Yeah. I mean, I think
how much is Jonas like dominating, or is he just barely leading?
Well, I mean, it's only been 3 stages. Like, you can't be dominating after 3 stages. Like, he won 1 stage. I would venture to guess that it's not going to be that exciting. Like, Jonas is probably going to walk away with it. I could be wrong, but that's my prediction right now.
Yeah, haven't tuned in.
Yeah.
I did see that all of their bikes got stolen.
Yeah.
So like 250 grand worth of bikes. I know. Like, do they not just have people watching these bikes?
250K worth of...
Like, we had all our bikes stolen too once.
What?
Really?
Well, on HPH, they stole like...
Oh.
I don't even know how you can say that, but they stole like it was weird because they stole the 3rd spare bike of every rider. So we don't need 3 spare bikes. So it didn't affect the race at all.
Okay.
So that was
what happened
made
here?
me think it was like an inside job. It was like, wow, they don't.
Oh, like someone knew. Hey, these guys aren't going to need these bikes.
Yeah, it's not going to affect the race at all. But we'll just take some bikes.
Okay.
I feel like you'd have a hard time selling Jumbo bikes. Like a bunch of Jumbo bikes just got stolen, and then you want to sell them to make a profit. But as soon as you put one up on like eBay or Facebook Marketplace or something, people are going to be like, oh, that's a Jumbo bike that just got stolen.
Yeah. Maybe you have to wait like 3 years.
I don't know.
I saw in the comments, like, someone was like, why don't they just bring their bikes inside their hotels like us amateurs do? And then someone else was like, if they do that, then they're going to start breaking into their hotel rooms. I was like, geez.
Yeah. Yeah. In college, like we had a bike room where we kept, the cycling team kept all the bikes. And I remember one year, like a bunch of parts off of a bunch of people's bikes got stolen.
They just started taking parts off bikes?
Yeah, we were pretty sure that it was probably someone from the cycling team that had the code to the bike room, because the bike room was locked with a code.
Yeah.
And it was pretty clear that it was like a cyclist that did it, because obviously they knew how to work on bikes to take these parts off.
And they knew which parts were valuable.
And they knew which parts were expensive, right?
Yeah.
Like they didn't just take... They first of all, if somebody were to break into the bike room, they probably would have just stolen whole bikes.
Right.
But this person didn't do that. They just stole like individual expensive parts off of bikes. So, which, if you're gonna... I'm not trying to give thieves any ideas here, but if you're going to try to resell stuff, if you just resell an entire bike that got stolen, like that's a huge red flag. But if you just sell individual expensive parts off of bikes, you're probably not going to get flagged.
Right. Which is probably what they're going to do with the Jumbo bikes.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And then just like strip the paint off the frames and sell them on the black market.
Yeah. Yeah, 250K worth of Cervelos. That's probably like 3 bikes.
They said it was 18 bikes.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is still a lot.
Yeah, no doubt.
Any other racing going on?
I'm sure there is, but I can't think of it. We'll probably just move on to listener questions.
All right. Let's do it. We got one here from Gregor. Maybe it's Gregor. Depends where he's from. It says, hey, I've got an urgent listener question and then another one. Okay, so I guess he's got 2 urgent listener questions.
That's a weird way to say that. You just say I have 2 urgent listener questions.
I don't totally understand this, but I'm just going to read it. It says, number 1, Dylan, don't be shy. Just say the code you cracked. Just say it, please, quick. Since you're not just an erotic podcast, here's another one. I don't know. I think he was talking about that one time when you said you could figure out how to talk to girls all of a sudden. Maybe that's what he's talking about.
I'm going to keep it to myself so I don't have any competition.
There you go.
Yeah.
Which is very unlike you. Usually you rant about your...
That's true. Damn. Yeah.
Okay. I see where Dylan's priorities really are. Here's another one. What tire would you recommend if you've got a suspension fork on a gravel bike? The fork already does part of what the super wide tire would do. I'm thinking on courses like the Rift or Traca. Thanks a lot, Greg.
Does that even matter?
Does having the suspension fork matter?
Yeah, like you want a lesser tire just because you have a suspension fork? So you can just run the same tire?
I mean, that's kind of the idea. Dylan, didn't you say that there was a test that was done? Someone conducted a test doing this, basically, like comparing tires with the suspension fork versus tires without a suspension fork?
Yeah, Hannah Shell did this with some aero sensor company on actual gravel, and they used an aero sensor for it. And it was like, I listened to a whole podcast about it. I think it was on Escape Collective. If you want to check out the podcast, I recommend it. It was interesting. And they tested a bunch of different, tire and fork setups. And, they, with the rigid fork, mountain bike tires were the fastest. But then when you put the suspension fork on, all of a sudden the fastest tire became a 40. So quite a bit smaller than a mountain bike tire. And, you can...
Now, were they testing that front and rear, or were they only swapping the front tires?
I don't know, to be honest with you. Couldn't tell you.
Okay.
But presumably the reason for that would be that the suspension fork is now doing the work that the mountain bike tire had to do. And now you can run a more aerodynamic tire.
Sure.
Like a 40 is much more aero than a mountain bike tire.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost wonder if you'd want to run like a mullet setup. It'd be like a reverse mullet, but you would have a skinny tire up front with a suspension fork and then the mountain bike tire in the back.
So everybody, when they run a different size tire, they're always running a bigger tire in the front and a smaller tire in the back. And maybe that's just because, usually if you're having tire clearance problems, it's in the back. It's not in the front, right? So
yeah, everybody's
always running a mullet, or not a mullet. What's the opposite of a mullet? Just a regular haircut? Like they're running a bigger tire in the front and a smaller tire in the back. I have argued this for a while, and I only did it one time. I think back before I was on, this was like 2022 or something. I think I put a 42 in the back and a 40 in the front for this very reason. The aero matters more for the front wheel, and then you can optimize aero for the front, and you could optimize rolling resistance for the back. So my argument would be run a mountain bike tire in the back and then run a suspension fork with a 40 in the front.
Yeah. And you're like weight distribution, usually you got more weight on the back tire anyways.
Yeah.
It's like you'd arguably want more suspension in the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I would try. Okay, let's see. See if this is a real one.
Good. Those were very urgent questions. I'm glad we got to those.
Considering Traca is like 7 months from now or 9 months from now, whatever it is.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Bonk brethren. I know that Grace is obviously your favorite Bonk babe, as she is mine.
Not true.
Why is she your favorite? And please use as many words as possible to describe how amazing she is. Does this guy know who Grace is or something?
Did Grace write this question? What the heck?
Probably.
Wait, what's this guy's name?
Mark.
I think Grace just created a burner account.
Mark what?
We're not going to say Mark's last name.
Why?
Unless it becomes a problem.
There, we can say it.
No.
Okay, no offense to Grace, but Danny's my favorite bonk babe because we used to be teammates.
That's true.
Yeah. I do like
I don't even know
Grace.
where this question's coming from.
She's a close second.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, I think I'm gonna be on Bonk Babes this week. They invited me on.
They
That's
recorded
like the most
yesterday,
feminine
so
thing you've ever done, Dylan.
I think you missed that, dude.
Oh, well, maybe not this week. Maybe next week. They just said whatever. The next episode, they said they want me on. So
Okay.
I might be on Bonk Babes.
Are you going to
I'm
show
not-
up with a bra and stuffed boobs?
Yeah, I mean, they probably want me to. They get their whole thing is that boobs are arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Maybe I'll wind tunnel test that. See if that's actually true.
Should.
Yeah.
This is from George. I want to hear about Dylan's interview last February with GCN. I didn't even know you did an interview with GCN.
Yeah, so GCN, so I went over to London to do wind tunnel testing with Rule 28, and I also went to Rule Air Bike Show. And so GCN is obviously there because they're based out of London and it's a bike show. So and so they saw me and they're like, "Hey man, we're doing a video about drop bar mountain bikes. Like, can we get your take on it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And that's the story.
You didn't go into any detail about drop bar mountain bikes?
No. Go watch the GCN video. Of course I went into detail about drop bar mountain bikes.
Okay.
And then
he does
later
that when
on,
you don't ask him.
dude, and then later on
I
went on to make fun of them for copying me, which they do quite frequently. And so there have been multiple occasions. I know of at least 3 thumbnails that they made that look almost identical to my thumbnail. It's like a GCN version of my thumbnail. Like one time I did a video on doing 2-a-days. So I had this thumbnail where I'm like riding, and then half the thumbnail is like the morning and it says AM, and then half the thumbnail is nighttime and it says PM. And they did the exact same thing. They had Sai, for people who know GCN presenters, they had Sai like riding in the middle, and then half the thumbnail is AM, and then half of it is PM. And I'm like, what the heck? Do you guys just like get AI to like, scour the internet and then like make your thumbnail for you? And then there's another. I think my tire video was the exact same thing. Like I had like 3 tires or something, and then they had a video with 3 tires, and yeah, there have been multiple instances where it's like it's very questionable whether or not whoever's making the thumbnails at GCN just like saw one of my thumbnails and like basically copied it exactly, and then just put like GCN in the corner.
Nice.
That being
How does that
said,
make you feel?
I guess imitation is the highest form of flattery, right?
Sure.
Also, that being said, people who watch my channel, I make fun of GCN a lot, especially like Backwards Hat Dylan makes fun of GCN a lot. But I like the guys at GCN. I'm actually like friends with most of the GCN presenters. I think they're all good guys. I don't really actually have. I mean, it sounds like I've been saying negative things about GCN for the past 5 minutes, but I don't really have negative things to say about GCN. I think they're cool. This is just like earlier in this podcast when it sounded like I was talking a bunch of shit about Gravel Worlds, which I was, but I actually love Jason and Sophia, and I think Gravel Worlds is a great event. I just want it to be better.
Let's see. Next one, Matt sent a picture of it's a Facebook ad, and the title is "Fancy Bike for Sale," and it's a picture of a Lauf for $500. And he says, "Is this Drew's?"
Fancy bike for sale?
Yeah, that sounds stolen. I think that is straight off the truck.
Yeah.
Let's see. Got a.
What if whoever stole the Yumbo bikes. Like they're stripping the parts off because they, want to sell the parts individually, and then they find out that there's motors in the bike.
Like, what do you do with that information? Because that could be very valuable information.
Right. Do you leak that information and then you're the person that stole it? Or you know what you do actually?
Put it for ransom.
You go to Yumbo and you like, look, I know some stuff. You can pay me. I'll even give you your bikes back. You can pay me a hefty sum. I'll give you these motorized bikes back, but it's going to cost you.
Do you think it would be like back in the day when, and you guys might not follow baseball, but like Sammy Sosa got caught with a corked bat, and it was like supposedly his training bat that he would use like in practice before the game so he could like hit home runs for the fans or whatever. But he like the bat boy accidentally gave him the wrong bike. Do you think they would try and punt off as like, oh, these are our rest day e-bikes, so that way the guys don't get too tired?
That is literally what that chick who did cyclocross on a motorized bike said.
Really?
She said that the bike was motorized so that she could like keep up with the men that she trains with on group rides.
And she just accidentally grabbed the wrong one.
It was like a training bike, and then I don't know, like the mechanic fucked up and like gave her the wrong bike in the race.
And I had no idea that I was going on a 30 watts faster than normal, or 50 watts faster than normal, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. No, I think absolutely they would probably try to do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, you should be able to see right through that. Also, like that whole motorized doping case, look, I'm not saying that like a U23 girl isn't smart enough to put a motor in a bike, but I think that like her team was partially to blame for this, or Belgium was partially to blame for this. Like,
sure.
I have a hard time believing that a rider would organize all of that by themselves.
Of course. You think she did it without the team knowing? Right. Absolutely not.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
That's like the whole doping scandal. Do you think those guys were managing the entire doping scandal? No.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, some people do dope just by themselves without anybody else knowing, for sure, but it's riskier and you're probably not doing it, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're very knowledgeable about that sort of thing, which, the chances that you're probably like an elite level bike racer and about pharmaceuticals, like, probably not. The chances that you're an elite level bike racer and about motors, like how to work on motors in bicycles that are very small, probably not.
All right. David says, question for the podcast. We see plenty of Europeans and even Australians / Kiwis coming over to the US to compete in the Lifetime Grand Prix. Why do you guys think we don't see as many riders from Latin America? There's got to be some mountain biker who grew up at 9,000 feet and could challenge Keegan's altitude performance at Leadville.
There is. Simone Pelode. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Mm-hmm.
He's from South America, is he not?
I thought he was from, Switzerland, but he lives down there. I think he lives in Colombia, but he's from Switzerland, which is like the same thing.
Dang.
How is that the same thing? Growing up in Switzerland versus growing up in Colombia, you think that's the same
I'm saying
thing?
because he also probably grew up at altitude in Switzerland.
Yeah,
this guy's just trying to get at like guys that, Switzerland's not, you're not going to be living at 9,000 feet, but he does now.
I want to know why he grew up in Switzerland and then he became a pro bike racer and then he moved to Colombia. It seems like
I think his wife is from there or something.
Huh.
Or some family thing from what I heard. But that was a good example.
He's living in the U.S. to be honest.
Fair.
Because
he's definitely racing in the US
all the time.
He does a ton of other races though. Remember, like at Sea Otter, he was like off the front and they were like talking to him, like the lead moto, or you were in the race, Dillman, but the lead moto was like talking. They were doing the announcements or commentating for the live feed, and they were talking about how like this guy's already done like 20 races this year, and he yells like 27, like he'd already done like an insane number of races before Sea Otter. Now I don't know if he's still doing that. If maybe he was just doing like early.
He
spring
rides for like
races,
a Chinese continental team, doesn't he?
No,
Yeah,
he rides for Tudor.
No, but he also rides for a Chinese continental team.
Oh, okay.
And then like that season is
that?
only like in China they only race. The only big races are like in short periods of time.
Okay.
So that's why he did 27
Yeah, he's
races.
on Li Ning Star.
You can be on
Like
two
officially.
different like continental teams like that.
Well, Tudor's a pro continental team, and he's not on the actual team.
Oh, what is he on?
Actual
How does that work?
pro team.
Like
Oh.
he's on the gravel team or something?
Is he on the Vanguard team of Tudor?
Is he what?
Is he on the Vanguard team?
Might be the equivalent. Yeah. Sounds
Damn, dude,
pretty
just
similar.
imagine if the real Tudor guys came over then.
Yeah. He either got promoted or demoted to this made-up Vanguard gravel team. I don't know which one.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Matt wants to know, what was Dylan's reasoning for going with the Ricks over the Kings at Leadville? You weren't even considering the Kings.
Yeah, I mean, I know that the Dubnatal comes in a 2.4 now, so the 2.2 versus 2.4 thing is, I guess, a moot point. But the Ricks just, I mean, I think it's as simple as on bicyclerollingresistance.com, which, you know, if Drew is here, he'd be freaking out that I'm like putting all my faith into this website. But the Ricks just test faster than the Dubnatals do. They test about the same as the Kings, but yeah, simple as that.
Yeah. And unlike the Thunderbirds, the Ricks are actual mountain bike tires.
Yeah, the Thunderbirds are sketchy. I mean, part of the reason I ran Thunderbirds last year, and I think it's probably the fastest tire you could run for Leadville. That's the tire that Kate Courtney ran. But you are risking flatting, and also, I mean, it's just a sketchy tire. Like Leadville's in Colorado. It's dry. It's dusty. Like, obviously, you can get through the race with that tire on, but it's a sketchy tire.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Sparky says, I get ankle pain periodically from injuries I've had in the past. Any thoughts on running high top cycling shoes to mitigate this? Do you think high top cycling shoes will have any effects on power transfer? Thanks. I don't know. They'd be balling though. Be pretty sick to run some like J's.
I think
I've seen high tops before.
I think there are some like, mountain bike shoes which aren't really designed for cross country racing. They're more like all mountain shoes that are high tops. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Specialized had a pair of high tops for a while. Maybe Giro, but I could also be making that up. Yeah, I don't know. There are high top shoes out there. Look into them. Try them out. See if that helps. Yeah, as far as would they be detrimental to power output?
I don't know. Usually high tops don't affect your like ankle flexion that much, right? I mean, it depends on how high they are. If they're like super high and you're like locking in your ankle, but most like high top like basketball shoes, like you still have full like ankle range of motion. It's just going to deflect or it's just going to affect like the lateral deflection. So I don't know. It depends on what you're getting ankle pain from. Like I would think like maybe try an ankle brace before you just like go and hodgepodge together some high top shoes.
Yeah, I had a friend who in college who he was a downhiller, so maybe this doesn't apply as much, but he always rode in an ankle brace. Every time he rode, he had an ankle brace on.
Who?
Oh, really?
Hut.
Oh, well, he was an odd-shaped human.
Odd-shaped?
He also like could not. He had to drop his seat post so much that he had a 200 mil dropper post, and then he would also undo the seat clamp and drop it as far as it would go down the frame.
What?
Yeah.
Because he was so obsessed with having the seat like so low. Like he would ride
Why
to the
wouldn't he
top of
just
the
take it
trail.
out?
It beats me.
Yeah.
But he was
Yeah.
so
Like
tall.
he would stop at the top of the trail and like literally get his wrench out.
So he had a 200 mil dropper post, which is just
insane.
ridiculous already. And he's so tall that 200 mil doesn't even like he's still got seat post.
No, I think
So
it's more that he's just like so like he's so used to riding with the seat like a BMX bike that like to us, because like I grew up riding like a straight post, having like 100 mil dropper is already like, you know, feels a lot better.
Right.
But he's like, no, I can't have this thing like at all between my legs. It has to be like,
dude, Hut, get with the times. You got to get an electric actuated seat post. So you can just yank the whole thing out, and then you got a holster attached to your top tube that you can attach it to for the downhill. Then you don't got to worry about that seat ever.
Yeah.
What if the frame hits you in the taint?
Yeah.
Your ass is going to be over your rear tire the whole time.
That's why his seat needed to be so low. He has such massive balls, you know? He had
Is that what you're going to talk about on the Bonk Babes, Dylan? Your massive balls.
I mean, they're probably going to talk to me about how like their boobs are so aero, which they probably are, man.
You know, it's probably not aero. Saggy balls.
Yeah, probably. It's like a parachute, actually. He had the world record for the longest manual for a minute.
That's pretty sick.
I think it's been beaten now, but yeah, he got it when he was like not even in college yet, so he was probably like 17 or something.
How far was it? Like miles?
No, it wasn't even that far. It was like 600 feet or something.
No,
or 600 yards. Maybe.
So obviously,
dude, I feel like Braden Lang. I've seen videos of him doing a wheelie literally down an entire mountain pass.
Yeah. So he told me all about this record. So
it has
obviously,
to be on flat ground, right?
Yeah, there are people that can manual forever. Like Braden Lang could probably manual an entire mountain pass and then be like 10 miles of manualing. But it has to be on flat ground. So basically what has to happen is you just have to find somewhere that's flat, and then the Guinness, the people from Guinness will make sure that it's flat enough. And then you just have to sprint your absolute dick off as hard as you can and then do a manual until you come to a rolling stop.
Okay. That's pretty sick. Would he train for this then? Like, would he work on his sprint just so that he could get up to speed?
I don't think he trained for it. I mean, I don't think it's like a super.
And you can't like ride down a hill. Like the entry has to be flat too. You're saying?
I don't know what the exact rules are. I mean, I feel like
I would imagine.
I feel like if the only thing that matters is the manual, I feel like you could get like pulled in by a car and go like 80 miles an hour and start your manual,
Yeah.
That'd
be awesome.
So what's dumb about
e-bikes count? Could you do it on an e-bike?
I would assume no.
Okay.
What's dumb about like this record is that essentially it's a competition to see how long you can coast for without stopping. Obviously, you have to be good enough to be able to hold a manual for like a minute or two, but a lot of people are good enough to hold a manual for a minute or two. It's just comes down to like who finds the perfect area where they can sprint and then coast.
So did you like consult with him to figure out all the marginal gains that he would need to keep his bike coasting as long as possible? Like ceramic bearings, fairings on his front tires so he's got more aero.
Look, dude, there's a video of this and he's literally he's a, like BMX or downhill kid. Like he's wearing a baggy ass t-shirt and I was like, that costs you some meters, man, for sure.
That's balling though.
Yeah.
I don't remember how he got on that. Different Matt says, what's y'all opinion on the new purple SRAM chains that are supposed to be better / faster than a wax chain? I don't know about that. We need to ask SILCA about that.
I know nothing about this.
I don't
either.
It's
like a new drop that I missed
4 days ago.
Look it up.
SRAM perp. Let's see what that comes up with. It is purple. Damn.
Is there an article about it?
It's an E1 purple chain, wax friendly.
Sounds like a e-bike chain.
Yeah. I don't know. Looks like it just came out.
So what's it say? It's just wax friendly, like it holds wax better?
I don't know. There's no articles on it.
Okay.
So I don't know where this guy's getting his intel from, but we should ask SILCA, see if they know anything about this.
SILCA, yeah. I don't know if I'm allowed to. I will keep my mouth shut because maybe I'm not allowed to say this.
Why?
I don't know. Because,
Is there a new product coming out?
No. This is just like one of those things where like SILCA probably wants to maintain a good relationship with SRAM, so I'm not going to say anything.
Does SILCA even have a relationship with SRAM?
Well, they sell like pre-waxed SRAM chains.
Okay.
It's
the SRAM Force E1 chain. You can get it in silver for $70 MSRP, or you can get it in purple for $100 MSRP.
And the purple is faster because it holds wax better?
It doesn't say. I know they're like PVD, which is their the finish that they have on their higher end chains. That stuff is super durable. That's why all the like mountain bike chains last forever. Like the higher end ones. And this does have that. But I think that's also been like they've said that contributes to it being slow.
Okay. Man, they really couldn't have picked like a worse color to match like bike
anything.
Yeah, like what bike is,
what color bike do you think would look sickest on?
I mean, I don't, you could have like, you could do what the downhill bros do and just have like a blacked out carbon frame and have like purple hubs and purple headset and,
I was kind of thinking white.
Yeah.
Like an all white frame. Look pretty ballin'. Yeah, I don't know. Who sent this in? Matt, right? Was it Matt or George? Matt, I don't know. We'll have to get back to you. We'll consult our SILCA homies and see what they have to say about it. I would imagine if it's fast without wax, then it's probably even faster with wax. So just double up on that bad boy. All right. Scott says last question. Does that mean you want to do one more question, or was that the last one?
I was hoping that was the last one.
Okay. All right. We can shut it down then.
Sick.
I'm
glad you were ready for this podcast, Scott. You really contributed a lot. Thanks.
I contributed.
Yeah. Contributed your anger. It's always needed.
Scott, you know what we haven't done in a while? You need to reach out to Matt Scarborough and get some more trivia questions from them. Yeah, we ran out of those. It's been a while.
I'll ask him.
Okay. All right, dudes. We'll see you later.
All right. See ya.